Then get off for 5. So.
All right.
If there's 5:30.
Mark, tell us when you're ready. Wait. You ready?
Fellow board members, I call this special budget meeting to order. Before we get started, something I neglected to do last meeting was thank Lindsay, Mark, and Brian with our IT department for the very fine job they've done the last 2 meetings with this virtual school board meeting, and the wonderful job they're going to do tonight. And that is my fault and my mistake for not doing that last meeting, but we want to give a big thank you to our IT department. Thank you all very much.
That's right, yeah.
We will start off with 1.2. I'm going to read it. We won't go too far into it, but Lafayette Parish School Board certification pursuant to the gubernatorial proclamation JBE 2020-30 and notices and instruction regarding live stream and public comment is how we're running our meeting. We will go right into it. 2.1 on the finances, the review of budget recap and timeline. Mr. Guidry.
With this particular meeting, we're coming back to the board with all of the budgets, proposed budgets that had originally been presented at previous meetings. We'll go through each of the budgets and I'll indicate whether or not there have been changes since the last review, and we'll open it up for questions and ask the board to take action, allowing staff to proceed with the budget process, which would be advertising on April 30th and May 1st, that these budgets are available for public inspection. We're in the process of setting up a link on our homepage to allow inspection virtually, since we're not certain whether or not our administrative offices will be open on those dates. As soon as our offices do become open, of course, we'll also have a hard copy available for inspection here. The inspection period ends on May 13th. We will have a public hearing at 4 o'clock, followed by a special board meeting at 4:30, at which time we'll ask the board to adopt the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Guidry. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to 2.2, finance proposed budget for 2020-2021 special revenue fund. Mr. Guidry, and after you, we'll go to public comment and board comment. Go ahead, Mr. Guidry.
Yes, the special revenue fund proposed budget as originally presented at the February 18th special board meeting is being presented with no changes. And if once we go through the questions and answers and public comment, we'll ask the board to make a motion to allow us to proceed with the budget process.
Thank you, sir. We will open this item up to public comment. Ladies and gentlemen, the number once again is 337-521-7018. And we will allow the allotted time for anyone to call in on this item.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well.
Sorry, my mistake, fellow board members. I'll entertain a motion on this item before we go to public comment.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion by Dr. Aguilar that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund. Did you second that, Mr. Broussard? Okay, motion by Dr. Aguilar, second by Mr. Broussard. We're still waiting on public comment. 337-521-7018.
Did y'all see that text from somebody opened the back door for Miss Mary?
Okay, they're going, Ms. LeBou. Thank you. Okay, there's no public comment. Do we have any board member comment on item 2.2 before we go to the vote? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Dr. Chasson, I think we're waiting on you, sir. The motion carries 8-4, 1 absent. We'll go ahead and move to 2.3, Finance. Proposed budget for 2020-2021 capital projects, Capital Improvement Fund. I will entertain a motion on this item.
So moved, Mr. President.
We have a motion by Mr. Angel that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund. Do I have a second? Second by Dr. Aguilar. We will go to public comment at 337-521-7018 and allow for the allotted time. Mr. Angel, I almost called you Dr. Angel.
That's okay, Mr. President.
There is no public comment. Is there any board member comment on item 2.3?
Mr. President, it's Kate LeBou. Can I ask a question of Billy Guidry? Is he on the phone?
Yes, ma'am, he is. Go ahead.
Billy, I know that there was a project in place at Middlebrook. I just want to check on it for the parking lot that I don't see on here. Has that completely been funded and finalized?
We have not removed any projects from the listing. So is the listing that you're referring to one for the current year, Ms. LeBou, for 20 or?
That was my question. Is it was, I know the project had not been completed, but I don't see any funding for it on this listing. I just wanted to make sure that there's no more.
So I'm good to go. Oh,
Funding
Yes.
needs the next year.
What would happen? What we do is when we're preparing the budgets, we get with Mr. Bordelon, and he estimates what % complete the project will be as of the end of this fiscal year, June 30. And if he's anticipating completing the project by that time, that you would not see any additional funds carry forward into 21. So that would be an indication that he feels the project will be completed by June 30. I would add that if for some reason the project is not completed by June 30, then the funds that are in the current year's budget would carry over to fiscal year 21 to allow the completion of the project. We would do that in a budget revision to the fiscal year 21 budget, should that occur.
Okay, I'll check with him. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ms. LeBou. Any other board member comment? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries 9 yes, 0 no's. We'll move on to the next item, 2.4, Finance, Fund 59, Southside High School, Furniture, Fixtures, and Equipment. Dr. Aguilar?
Is it agenda item? We have it on the agenda.
Okay, members of the board, classroom furniture and technology will be needed at Southside High School for a couple of areas that will be reallocated into instructional areas. I'd like your support for the motion as stated that the board approve funding $120,000 in the proposed 2021 Fund 59 Southside High budget for classroom furniture and technology.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Aguilar, seconded by Mrs. Santani.
That's correct.
Okay, we'll, if you don't mind, Dr. Aguilar, we'll go to public comment, and I'll let you go ahead and speak. Public comment 337-521-7018 on the motion that the board approves funding for $120,000 in the proposed 2021 Fund 59 for Southside High School budget for classroom furniture and technology. You have the floor, Dr. Aguilar.
Yes, thank you. Principal Cassidy came before the board in February and mentioned that she was willing to take a look at some instructional areas to forego the purchase or the placement of temporary buildings. She needs about $120,000 that will fund 5 classroom sets of furniture for students, teacher desk, and appropriate Chromebook technology that this line item will provide for Southside High School. This money is coming out of the USDA budgeted funds for Southside High School. And members of the board, I urge you to support this motion.
Do we have any other board member comment on this item? Dr. Aguilar, before I call for the vote, I will pledge my support for your item. I do believe it is necessary. Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries 9 for, none against. Moving on to 2.5, Finance proposed revision to proposed budget for 2020-2021 self-funded construction fund. Dr. Aguilar? That should...
Motion reads as follows. Okay, the motion reads that the board approves reducing the proposed budget line item included in the 2020-2021 self-funded construction fund project for the Ernest Gollett floor replacement project from $361,000 to $62,000 to reflect the replacement of carpeting in the hallways areas only, and that the board approves allocating the $299,000 reduction in the Ernest Gollett floor replacement project budget to a new budget line item, furniture, fixtures, and equipment for wing additions.
We have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion by Dr. Aguilar, seconded by Mrs. Santani. We'll open the floor up for public comment on this item. 337-521-7018.
You're welcome.
There is no public comment. I'll open it up to board member comment. Would you like to start, Dr. Aguilar?
Yes, thank you. I want to credit Ms. Hannah Mason. At the last board meeting, she mentioned wanting to look for furniture for LJ Alamon in particular as the wing addition is being constructed and will eventually come online. Ernest Gollett did receive funding for a total replacement of all of the carpet at the school, some $361,000. The greatest need at Ernest Gollett at this time is the hallways only. $299,000 of this money that was budgeted for Gollett will not go far enough to fulfill all of the furniture needs for all of the wings that will be coming online over the next 12 to 18 months. But this is a start to build up the furniture budget so that when we open those wings, we'll have new furniture and fixtures in those classrooms. Members of the board, I urge you to support this action.
Thank you, Dr. Aguilar, as will I, because I have Prairie Elementary in the mix on this one. Ridge Elementary in the mix on this one, and that would be greatly appreciated. Do we have any other board member comment? Hearing none, Madam. Did someone have a comment?
I'll ask mine at a different time. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries 9 for, none against. Next item, 2.6, proposed budget for 2020-2021 self-funded construction fund. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Broussard that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund, seconded by Mr. Angel. Any public comment? 5217018. There is no public comment. Do we have any board member comment before we go to vote? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote on item 2.6. The motion carries 9 for, none against. Next on the agenda is 2.7, proposed budget for 2020, 2016 construction fund. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
We have a motion by Ms. Morrison, seconded by Dr. Aguilar. Public comment is 337-521-7018. Hearing no public comment, I'll ask for any board member comment on this item. Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Motion carries 9-4, none against. We'll move to item 2.8, proposed budget for 2020, 2021, 2018A, construction fund. Motion, please.
I move, Mr. President.
We have a motion from Mr. Angel that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund. Second. Ms. Morrison is second. Public comment, 337-521-7018. There is no public comment. Do we have any board member comment? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Motion carries 9-4, none against. Next item is 2.9, proposed budget for 2020, 2021, 2019A, construction fund.
I approve that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
Motion from Ms. Morrison. Second from Dr. Aguilar. Public comment is 337-521-7018. What are we going, Ms. Gordon, in 30 seconds? There is no public comment. Do we have any board member comment? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Motion carries 9-4, none against. Next item is 2.10, proposed budget for 2020-2021 Southside High School Construction Fund.
Mr. President, I motion to rescind the actions of the March 11 meeting approving the budget revision within Fund 59.
We have a motion by Mr. Broussard,
Second.
second by Mrs. Centani. Public comment is 337-521-7018. You had that motion. There is no public comment. Do we have any board member comment on this item? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries 9-4, none against.
Mr. President, I move that the board reconsider the vote on the previous question.
Go ahead. Comment.
Okay. Reconsider the vote.
Second.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion that the board reconsider the vote on the last motion by Mrs. Centani. Was that seconded by Dr. Chasson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will open it up for public comment, 337-521-7018. There is no public comment. I'll open it up for board member comment. Mr. Centani?
Mr. President, I now move that we postpone the vote indefinitely on this motion.
Okay.
Second.
Vote on this motion right here to reconsider.
Yes, I'm moving to postpone the vote on reconsider indefinitely.
Is that requiring a substitute motion, or that's what your motion is stating that we have on the floor now?
No, this is a subsidiary motion pertaining to the motion that's on the floor.
Okay. Did you get that, Ms. Blanco? Okay. Mr. Centani, can you reword that slowly so Ms. Blanco can get that in the system and we'll vote on that one first?
I move that the board postpone the vote on reconsideration indefinitely.
And the motion was made by Mr. Centani and it was seconded by Dr. Chasson. So with the substitute motion, once again, public comment is 337-521-7018. There looks to be no public comment. Any board comment?
This is Kate LeBou. I have a question, or just a point of clarification. This dollar figure, the $683,044, does that include that $120,000 that we just voted to grant an FFE? Or did
Yes.
we use this figure to reflect the fact that we voted $120,000 towards furniture, fixtures, and expenses?
I'll be happy to answer that as pertains to the motion on the floor. It is the $120,000 was actually a budget revision to this budget, so that number should actually be $563,000 remaining in that line item, of which the motion to reconsider is the vote that we just took to rescind allocating that money towards athletic areas. So we are now back to that money is for portable buildings if needed. And so you should have 120,000 plus 583.
Are you good with that, Ms. LeBeau?
Yes, I think the motion as it stands doesn't limit us to this figure, so that's fine. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, Mr.
Why would it be 5 and not 4, guys? Why 583 and not 483? Oh, excuse me, 463.
Ms. Santani?
I'm sorry, I said 583. It should be 563 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay, 563. Board members, Mr. Guidry does have a question. I'll give him the floor.
Yes, so as I understand it, if this motion is approved and the budget is adopted in May, that we can proceed with the ordering of the furniture. Would that be correct? Just want to make sure I'm clear on what the board's wishes are and what the board's actions.
As I interpret our actions tonight, Mr. Guidry, is that the Fund 59 budget would be identical to its posture as it was in January, where the money was allocated to portable buildings, with the addition of $120,000 for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Somebody please correct me if that's not what what everyone understands.
But addition of 120 or reduction of 120 for furniture?
Well, it would reduce the 683 by
Right.
120.
Right.
And
Okay.
that would be for furniture.
That is what I am understanding your motion to read. That the furniture is approved, will be ordered, will be put into school, but the remainder will go back to its original intent, which was for portable buildings, and it will sit there and, I guess if not used, it'll be sent back or used for debt reduction. I'm not quite sure. Is there any other board member comment on this item?
Can I ask a point or question?
Yes.
If we were to purchase new things for Southside, furniture, fixtures, and expenses beyond the 120, could that furniture then, the existing furniture then be moved to furnish the new wing additions at other schools?
No, this money is allocated. This is Southside money and Southside money only. It cannot be used anywhere else but Southside.
Yes, but if we purchased all new furniture and fixtures with the $683,000 at Southside, couldn't we then move the stuff at Southside to other schools to furnish wing additions that are as of yet unbudgeted and not funded?
Point of order, Mr. President.
Yes.
I don't believe this is germane to the motion.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move forward, and I'll go ahead and call for the vote. Oh, vote's up. Motion carries 7-4, 2 against.
Mr. President, I move that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
I second that, Mr. President.
We have a motion and a second by Mr. Angel. Any public comment? 521-7018. Hearing no public comment, is there any other board member comment before we go to the vote? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. I will let you know, Mr. Santani, that was very educational for me as president on that agenda item in the motions. Thank you.
Anytime.
Motion carries 9-4, none against. Next item, 2.11, proposed budget for 2020-2021 debt services fund.
That the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoptions for this fund.
Motion by Ms. Morrison. Second by Mr. Broussard. Public comment 337-521-7018. Hearing no public comment, do we have any board member comment on item 2.11? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Motion carries 9-4, none against. Next item is 2.12, proposed budget for 2020-2021 combined sales tax fund.
That the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
We have a motion by Ms. Morrison. Seconded by Mr. Broussard. Public comment 337-521-7018.
Hmm?
There is no public comment. Do we have any board member comment?
Mr. President,
Mr. Angel?
I have a question. I think it relates to this item. Is can Billy hear me? Can Mr. Guidry hear me?
Yes.
I was
sir.
wondering, Billy, if you had any advanced information or any kind of numbers that would show the reflection of the virus, the coronavirus, and the stay-at-home order, et cetera, to our sales tax receipts.
Yeah. Right now, the earliest we'll have hard numbers for the month of April will be about May 8th. The reason for that is the cutoff date or the deadline for filing returns to the 20th. And so we're only 3 days past that date. We have funding coming in electronically. Folks are dropping it off at the office. We have a drop box where the funds are coming in as well. So we don't feel that the numbers will truly be representative until May 8th. We also have refund requests that we'll be processing that will change those numbers as well. But as soon as we have those hard numbers, we will share it with the board.
Thank you very much, Billy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Guidry. Thank you for the question, Mr. Angel. Do we have any other board member comment before I go to the vote? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries 9-4, none against. Moving forward, 2.13, proposed budget for 2020-2021 School Food Service Fund.
Recommended action that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
Motion by Ms. Morrison, seconded by Dr. Aguilar. Public comment, 337-521-7018. Hearing no public comment, any board member comment on this motion? There being none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries 9-4, none against. Next up, 2.14, fiscal year 2021 proposed budget for the 2002 sales tax fund salary increase scenarios. Mr. Centani, do you have a motion?
Mr. President, I move that the board defer this agenda item until August.
We have a motion from Mr. Centani that we defer. Do I have a second? Second from Mr. Broussard. I'll ask for any public comment at 337-521-7018. And I remind everyone this is to defer and push this item to August.
From April, and can I ask why they wanted to defer this until August?
Mrs. Centani, the question is why?
And can I ask why they wanted to defer this until August?
For a couple of different reasons.
The question is
why?
Ms. Hall, if you could mute your phone, that would be very helpful so we don't get the echo. Go ahead.
I'll give the quick rationale behind this. I did ask for this during the February 18th special board meeting. This is very good information. I know the LPAE sent out a survey to their members. I think we need to go ahead and let those results come in a little more. I'm happy that we're going to be talking about raises versus 13th checks or 14th checks sometime other than September. Combined with the fact that I think because of the stay-at-home orders and the quarantine, The sales tax impact will mainly be concentrated in this fiscal year, which means that we don't really have a hard number on what money is going to be available. So voting on actual dollar amounts right now would very likely lead us to vote on different dollar amounts in August or September. So I think we would be able to make a more informed decision with better input from our employees a little bit later in the process than right now. But that said, I think this is the start of a good conversation and a good plan.
Thank you, Mr. Centeni. Any other public comment at 337-521-7018?
Five seconds.
Hearing no public comment, do we have any board member comment? And I remind you, the motion is to defer. No board member?
Mr. President, it's Hannah Mason.
Go ahead, Ms. Mason.
I just wanted to agree with Mr. Centeni about deferring, and I think it's very wise to wait until we, like Billy said, here's some numbers, so we're not setting our teachers up to expect a certain number if that's not what we can do at the time. So, but I am in favor of this increase. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mason, for the comment. Any other board member comment? Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Motion carries to defer 9-4, none against. Next item is 2.15, proposed budget for 2020-2021 2002 half-cent sales tax fund.
Recommended action that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
Ms. Morrison has made a motion. I'll entertain a second. Dr. Aguilar is the second. Public comment is at 337-521-7018. Hearing no public comment, is there any board member comment on this item before I go to vote? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Motion carries 9-4, none against. Item 2.16, proposed budget for 2020-2021 group insurance fund.
Recommended action that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
Ms. Morrison is the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Broussard. Public comment is 337-521-7018. While we wait for public comment, Mrs. Centani, I haven't seen you pick up a coffee cup this evening. That's what I figured. What would a board meeting be without Mrs. Centani and coffee?
Come on, I'm still the same person, Mr. Latchley.
Thank you. I do like your office, though. There is no public comment. Do we have any board member comment? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
That's okay. That's all right.
All we're waiting on is Dr. Chasson. Motion carries 9-4, none against. Fellow board members, our final item, 2.17, 2020-2021 General Fund Budget Summary, projected revenues and expenditures.
Make a motion that the board authorizes staff to proceed with the budget adoption process for this fund.
I have a motion by Ms. Morrison. Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Broussard. Public comment on this item, 337-521-7018. There is no public comment on this item. Any board member comment? Questions? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries 9-4, none against. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my praise of our IT department at the beginning of this meeting held true. This was, I think, our first flawless meeting. No glitches, no mistakes. Thank you to these hardworking people. Before we end this meeting, which lasted 55 minutes, I think I'll ask how all my fellow board members doing. Everybody's fine? We're all good?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just happy to get out of the house today. I was so excited. But we're good. Thanks for asking.
Hope everybody's fine. Our next board meeting seems to be May 13th. We don't know what that'll look like yet. We can stay virtual if you want, or we can bring it into the board. I guess we'll wait on direction, but I thank all of you. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what we doing?